Hey, welcome to the channel. I'm Musically Malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. Today, we are taking a look from something brand new from REN. Now, on this channel, if you're new here, what I tend to do is I choose an artist, I go to the very beginning of their discography, and I work my way song by song, one song a day, every single day until we get finished or current with where they are. Now, that means it just takes a little time to get to new artists because we generally have 2, 3, 4 artists at a time, and I am only one human being. But especially those that have been following along for the 21 Pilots journey, which as of filming this, we are getting to the end, close to the end of Breach, and we have been going through 21 Pilots music for months. But a lot of listeners with 21 Pilots have also recommended REN. My brother sent me something from REN. I think it was the Hello REN video years and years and years and years ago. All that being said, you're not here. Well, you're kind of here for me, maybe not. You're really here for REN. I'm just over here. I'm gonna be in a little bubble on the side, okay? But we're going to take a look at REN's most recent work. Hopefully I don't need a ton of context coming into this, but we'll take a look at it. This is The Bedroom, REN, Vincent's Tale, and probably on the other side of the video, we may go ahead and just look at the lyrics. That's another thing we do on the channel. We do a react video, but then I have a second video where we go deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So we might just... Sorry. We might just fuse it. You thought I was going to say something else. Fuse it into one video. I'm going to shut up now. Let's get into it and check it out. Okay, we're in a prison. Very kind of them to give him audio equipment. And the Jordan sweatpants. Let's go. Okay, I didn't want to interrupt the guitar solo. I wasn't aware that REN played an instrument, but, you know, I don't know much about REN. Probably going to be the most learned guitar solo this week. Raise your hand if you've already started. People are in there like pausing, learning it right away. What's cool too is the small exposure I've had to REN. I know he deals a lot with the inner self, right? The mental side of us. And I've heard some stuff too of like kind of social issues and things that he's talked about. But from what I've heard of him, the style that he's playing in as well, especially when he gets kind of dirty with it, really, I feel like fits a lot of what Ren brings, because even his lyricism and the way that he delivers is so unique, you know? There's nothing cookie cutter about him. He gets a little messy in his delivery, and it can feel a bit manic. And even though I've heard him, you know, he'll like take these voices that almost sound kind of crazy. He'll be like, "Hello, Rin, da 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 da," you know. And so I feel like the expression that he just played the guitar with is the same expression that he brings lyrically. So we'll back up a little bit.
Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below, same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that.
Oh gosh.
The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, can turn insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vinny. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, hell Britannia rule the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves.
Oh, come on, it's gonna get faster.
But the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living to decay.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, Rin to me is very much like a spoken word artist. I don't know why I enunciated it that much. Artiste. A spoken word artist that also has a deep understanding of music and pairs the two together. So even again in his delivery, it is musical, but it's almost more poetry than lyrics, if that makes sense.
Whole Britain, Great Britain, hell Britannia rule the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living to decay. And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So we drink so we don't have to think. Mercy.
God, he's so good.
Taste bittersweet. When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth. And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose, bad decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to? One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
Man, how does he remember all this, dude? So are there multiple things within this? Okay, we're just going to keep watching, but these are two separate stories? All right, sorry, I was trying to look for some information down below. All right, let's just roll with it.
Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop chop. Keep that credit top top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3.
Oh my gosh, dude. He's just speaking of like hypocritical nature of things. Wow. Like the idea of selling sex while putting virginity on a pedestal. Like those two just don't go together. It's two-faced. It's hypocritical. And gosh, what did he say here?
Life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you
This one.
alcohol and sells you your
The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. Jeez. Because what he's saying is we make alcohol such a staple of culture that, of course, there's so many people that abuse it, that get addicted for lack of a better word. And then to get free, it will cost you, whether that's through... which I know there are plenty of classes you don't have to pay for, but it's just an interesting thing. Sells you or pushes alcohol and then sells sobriety. Dude.
Folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex.
The beat and flow is hard though.
The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his Christ timelines into set. Rich as fate was designed.
Don't put your hands in the blood, sir.
Paint the picture, set the scene. It's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and read. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Force a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absently. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself. And there's nowhere to go. When his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono, rebound no yo-yo. And so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed, cause the motive was
What? Dude. This flow is insane. Run it back. Oh, you love it.
The go when his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono, rebound no yo-yo. And so the time it moved
Oh, he knows that was hard.
Never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth. But dying womb life brings the cycle of samsara. Always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Rich just losing sleep while his whole family's talked up. The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model often used to provide.
Okay, gosh. So he's trying to tell that, like, Richard has this inner pain, these things that he's dealing with. Obviously, he's in counseling here. But the idea, what did he say, that Richard's up or whatnot while his family's tucked up? The idea that he's dealing with something while everybody else is kind of tucked away, sleeping and in peace.
The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger, damn the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all are damn forsaken by creation. Revelations Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression.
So, gosh, did he... I'd have to go back and look, which we'll scroll through the lyrics a bit here in a minute. Did he... It sounds like he maybe committed a crime? But I don't know. We'll wait till we get to the lyrics.
I'm begging on my knees, resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up.
We're everywhere. This is the variety show. My goodness, dude. REN is incredibly talented. Wow.
Souls get shaken up. The road's never quite ideal. But slow.
Beautiful voice.
Dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
I think I saw a clip of that from one of his other videos. I know I'm here in the deep, guys, coming into whatever's going on at this point in the tale. man, I'm trying to figure out, is it irony? Because I'll scroll through the lyrics here. Here are two sides. If he if he didn't actually hurt somebody, murder somebody, do something wrong, whatever, then it is just because I have a lot of friends who are police officers, detectives, firefighters, EMTs, and they see a lot of really difficult things. And so obviously there's a processing that goes on inside, and even a depression that can set in from the things that you've seen or whatnot. So it kind of seemed like that. And then he was trying to reconcile those things through counseling and other stuff, and then kind of came out on top. But then the other side of me is, if he actually like did something wrong, like if he committed a crime, but it was able to be hidden away, it's this acceptance that's kind of an evil. Like you never had to face the consequences of what you did. So you worked through all this stuff and came to a point where you have acceptance. You kind of just brushed it under the rug and are going to try to move on with life, because it sounded really hopeful there for a moment. But then those closing parts, not even the like going into the other story, but the closing parts of even the beat, the music there. Here, let's go take a look. There was just something really like, I don't know, strange about it, because it's encouraging, but the music is almost like bringing this irony to it.
My done in for the right reason.
It's all hopeful here.
But look at who you become. It's your first day at work,
Still hopeful.
Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
I don't know, man. There was just this like subtle shift that threw me off a little bit. Somebody has the lyrics, or REN pinned them here, so we'll just stay here in this and check them out. Anger, have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected, and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Oh man. Obviously the things that he went through, he doesn't feel any empathy. Look for the new thing. Always look for the new thing. Obviously just pushing on this idea of like, buy more stuff, do more things, as this way of never being satisfied or never ultimately finding peace. But never look inside, never look within. It's a medicating. It's a diversion. Within, without, above, below, same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is, sane men living in insane terrain can turn insane. Okay, yeah. So the idea of a person that's sane but living in this like chaotic environment can turn insane. Brains that are kind of deranged, strange without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, a home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arms. I think this is all pretty self-explanatory. Tracks marks from the dragon, china white in her palm. Shooting up the birth canal, then he fell out like a yarn. Tumbled out, that's pretty vivid. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme, that he would continue to fall and unravel. Exceptionally average grades, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, flaming it green. When it's the cash that rules everything, around me, cream. Cash rules everything around me. Okay, wow, look at that, dude. Very cool. CREAM, cash rules everything around me, cream. Get the money. Funny, Vinny, he weren't ever good at hustling. Jobs that he was dead in, stuck in, started a combustion, so started this inner conflict, this anger. Nothing ever pulled him out of debt. The debt collectors rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. And the cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats. So maybe the psychopath on ice. I don't think it's speaking, obviously, ice, at least we used to use it as a drug or as a word for drugs. So there could be that, but it could also just mean this, like when you're on ice, it's just slippery ground. You can't get your footing. I think that's more so what it's speaking to. The day repeats. The days are weeks. The weeks are most of your life. When the day is done, it's a rerun. It's a repeat. It's the same one. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. O Britain, Great Britain, how Britannia rule the waves. We start, so obviously he's tongue-in-cheek here praising Britain. We started out with intention and we ended up like slaves. Wow. Like we started out with some sort of noble cause or trying to achieve, but our culture's just turned us into a bunch of slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living to decay. So it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go, but soon he's drinking because when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so he don't have to think. Oh my gosh, dude. Which obviously is a cycle we're all not necessarily like personally familiar with, that we all can understand, this self-defeating cycle. He drinks to let go because when he doesn't drink, he feels like he's losing it. So he drinks to not have to think, but then it just makes it worse, spiraling. Mercy tastes bitter sweet when the spirit that's inside him sinks in his teeth. And the month, I wonder if when the spirit that's inside him probably is speaking about alcohol, because alcohol is also used as spirits. So the mercy from drinking, the mercy that he feels like he's giving himself is bitter once that spirit inside of him grabs hold. Oh my gosh, dude. The months turn over, May to October, more days pissed than the days he spent sober. So even the days that he was sober, even more of those, he was just angry. Or it could just be this like pissing away, wasting. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold, cold prison, deep in alcoholism. That's the 40% proof, no juice. I wonder if he's saying this in the sense of like he's just telling the truth. No chasers, essentially nothing to dilute. Inhibitions get loose, bad decisions and taboos. When you're living for the booze, who's who, he'll loose himself too. One too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle, now it's Vinny Boy's round. Wow, man. That's going to cut off the lyrics. I was trying to get it a little closer for you guys. All right, and then we moved on to Richard's Tale. Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. Okay. So it sounds here like he's being critical of, which I know he has been critical of the police force. I'm from America, so I'm not fully familiar with everything there. We do have our own issues. Like I said already, I have friends who are wonderful people and truly, give so much to the community and put their lives on the line every single day. But I know there are plenty of bad actors out there. And so obviously it seems like he's being critical of those. Because he's saying, stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. So, and then this man's resistance is another man's tyrant. I wonder if he's trying to say that it's resistance, but it's perceived as a tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. So just being extremely harsh, maybe overreacting and overreaching. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. So just saying he's been in this prison since he was conceived, essentially. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his sock up, chop, chop, keep that credit topped up. Time is money, tick-tock. Quantify the price of your soul, then it's chop shop. Jeez, dude. This is really brilliant writing. Because he's just saying it's this cycle of like making money and living, and then like you've spent your whole life doing that. So now, hey, you've made money, quantified the price of your soul, and then it's just like you're done. Life's over. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned our Hyde into a Jekyll, obviously Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Mad, he's a mad lad, fallen on a war path. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash. Copper car light flash, red and blue kaleidoscope. Some folks don't like that. Never mind. Just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol then sells you your sobriety. We talked about that a little bit in the React, so I won't belabor that point. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web, fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his crimes. Timelines intersect. Richard's fate was designed. Oh, I feel like there's more here than I am comprehending. So let me know in the comments. Paint the picture, set the scene. It's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and reach. So Screech, I'm assuming, was the boy in the alley. Sibling buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard memories. Thoughts are muddled, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absent leave. So obviously something went down, and maybe this is one of the earlier stories. I'm just trying to figure out, is Richard a good man or not? That's what's hard for me, is I don't know if it was like, maybe he's trying to say the system that Richard came up in, that he did something wrong, that he went violent against non-compliance, and then that began to eat at his conscience. Hitting the bottle so to soften the blow. When the war's with yourself, then there's nowhere to go. And his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy regularly, seem to plateau. So yeah, I get all this. He's obviously dealing with some inner turmoil from an event. This popo went loco in woe. So low his mojo, no rebound, no yo-yo, and so the time it moves slow-mo, you see. So he's dealing with, again, this depression. Case was never closed because the motive was confusing. So yeah, it does sound like it's one of these situations where maybe Richard didn't do the right thing and it ultimately kind of got covered up. Orphan kills his sister, but his sister was removed when their mother died in childbirth. But dying womb life bring, the cycle of samsara always quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show that her brother never met his sister, didn't even know, so the tragedy was a catastrophe of fate. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's tucked up. The 5 stages of grief is a common physiological model often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decompose or decomposing your soul. That's bars. Stage 1, denial. Pretending for a while. Reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile. How to reconcile when murdering a child. Okay, so yeah, it sounds like, but I'm still trying to figure out, like, what happened that led up to this moment. Was Richard completely in the wrong? Did he literally murder someone? Was there a violence push toward him? I get the feeling that it's kind of one of these sketchy things that happens that then tries to get covered up. So let me know if I'm on the right track. And that's kind of what I'm going to go off of. And if that's the case, it does turn the whole ending into this very like ironic place. But I want to believe that Richard's the good guy. I want to believe that whatever happened wasn't him misusing his authority, because that would be a happier ending. But I don't know if with Ren happy endings are what I should be looking for. Man. The second stage is anger. Feel it bubbling, the bile. Anger, the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God has will that's good and grand, then damned we all are damned, forsaken by creation, revelations Richard cannot stand. The third stage is bargaining, begging God for a second chance. Lord, I know it's a reach, but I'm begging on my knees, resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I'll live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression. That's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession that feeds upon his spark for life. Possession? I wonder if he misspelt that or if there's supposed to be kind of a meaning there. That feeds upon his spark for life. No water is refreshing. No sunlight brings him warmth. No sleep will ever bring restraint. I don't know if that's a typo. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud. The silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. But the stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. And that's stage 5. Stage 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up. The road's never quite ideal, but slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Because you pulled a stitch from the seam. The wound was open, weeping. It felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestle imperfections, misdirection, walked with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel. Truth has double meanings. Wow, which I feel like is kind of what the song is about. There's a double meaning. Perspective disconnects a trauma. Trauma turns to lesson. So the getting perspective over something disconnects the trauma, and I guess what he's saying allows you to then like examine the thing once you've pulled it back and you've got a different perception. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No need for second guessing. No path is ever linear. A stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow. When it gets colder, whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops. Let them grow. Think clever. So obviously he's just talking about this idea. Colder, whatever, it's weather. Rain feeds the crops. So the same idea of like this perspective and learning a lesson that from this sorrow comes beauty. I'm proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy, serve and protect, my son, in for the right reason. I know you feel you did wrong, but look at what you become. I smell irony. Okay. Help me in the comments. Here's what I feel like. I feel like he's pointing to a broken system. Obviously, that's in a lot of the things he's talking about in here, but specifically with Richard, a broken system that maybe Richard made a poor decision, murdered somebody, it got kind of covered up, and then he had to deal with it on the inside. And instead of kind of paying the piper, he works through all the stages and eventually gets to a point where he's able to just kind of forget it and move on. And yet in Richard's mind, it's like he's made himself a better person from it. But the reality is that he should have to face the consequence of what he did, and yet he kind of gets off scot-free. So you let me know in the comments. That's where I really feel where it is. Man, absolutely incredible, dude. Not only, I mean, obviously the production side of it, but then it's just, man, it's just, it takes you on this whole ride. And it really is a tale. And that's what I appreciate about REN. I think that there's room for conversation in a lot of the things that REN brings up, but I think his voice is necessary in calling some attention. And maybe that's part of what he feels, this kind of ability to talk about these things that are people don't really want to talk about, and bring them into the forefront and present a side that does spur on good conversation, good thought, and just unashamedly, unabashedly calling out that which is broken. So, wow. Okay. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that you saw that I didn't see, and if I'm maybe I'm way off base, but we'll have a good conversation there. Thanks for being with me for this one. Feel free to look around the channel, check anything else out that you might be interested in. You know, I think we got some pretty good stuff around here, you know. But anyways, I'll see you in the next one. We're eating good.